Greetings to all of the honorees today. My name is Cedrick Gray. I am the Director of Education for Shelby County Government, and I work for our esteemed Mayor, County Mayor, Lee Harris. Greetings to Mr. Marlon Foster, who is our leader, our CEO, and we're grateful for this opportunity to present just a few words of encouragement to the young people who are being honored today. And guess what? This really will apply to any and everyone who is listening. And I also just wanted to extend a really heartfelt prayer for our community and for our city as we're all embracing the shift, hopefully, from being locked down from COVID to being freed and released in a very responsible way. So I'm grateful for as far as we have been brought and the grace that has continued to be our guide in our direction. So just for a few minutes, I wanted to share with you, after I got the invitation to do this, I'm sorry I could not be there in person, but through the use of technology, we are now everywhere at the same time. So we are grateful for this opportunity to share with you, even virtually. And I hope that what I share that comes from my heart reaches yours as well, to encourage us to keep on pushing in our journey. Sometimes, in spite of the odds, we're still very successful, and we're grateful for the success that God provides. When I thought about this, I thought really about what to share and, to whom to share it. And I thought about my father, believe it or not. My dad is retired now, and so he doesn't have to get up and get to work. He doesn't punch a clock like me. So I have a chance in the mornings on my way into work to give him a call and check on him to see how he's doing. And we have had a really good relationship as I have become more of an adult. And so he shares now wisdom from his experience when he was growing up, and also some wisdom from experience when he was raising me, doing the best he could to make me into a productive citizen. And by God's grace, I think that he has achieved some level of success. But anyway, so he and I were talking about maybe what to share with you. And I thought about, when we've come to a place where we have made some accomplishments, like many of you have persevered, you've gotten, some report card grades back, and those grades look good, and you feel really good about yourself. And then there's a group of us that are listening now that the grades may not have been that good. And you wanted to do a little bit better. So that's what I thought I would just sort of bring to the table today. And if I had to title it, I would title it How to Be a Better Me. A, B, C, and D. So how to be a better me. It's as easy as A, B, C, and D. And I'm just going to share with you some of the things that my dad shared with me as I grew older and began to experience life on my own. So the first thing he said was, in some conversation I had, is when I shared this, I want to do better, Dad. I want to be better. I want to, it's not quite enough to just be good right now. Can I be better? He said, well, first thing you need to do, son, is he said, to improve your attitude. That's the A. There'll be a test after this, so make notes. The A is to improve your attitude. Now, attitude is defined as a feeling or an emotion towards a thing or a fact, right? So how you act towards something that happens to you. I've heard this expression that life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you respond to it. Essentially what that means is you could be hit with all kinds of stuff, right? You could have a bad grade on your report card. You could get cut from the basketball team, or you could get passed over for whatever it is you're really looking forward to. And you could have a bad attitude. You can kick rocks down the road. You can pout. You can whine. You can complain. Grown people do it all the time, right? So, But I also heard an expression that says your attitude determines your altitude. And what that really means is how you respond to something determines how you can go and grow from it. So if your altitude is going higher or lower, it's based upon how you respond to a situation. So for example, I knew of a young man who tried out for a basketball team. And he was excited about it. He practiced all night. His folks, he was dribbling the ball, and it was 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock at night. They'd had to put him in the bed. But he tried out for the team, and guess what? He did not make it. Yes, he was devastated. Yes, he was disappointed. And he was even a little bit despondent after I talked with him. But more importantly, though, he changed attitude. You know what? I may not have made it this time, but I really believe if I try again, then I can succeed. So I'm challenging you right now to think about this. This is your first point. If you're writing something down, then do it. You can watch this video again later if not. But I wanted to challenge you to think about a time where your attitude either got you what you wanted or kept you from getting what you needed. I'm here to tell you, I'm raising a teenager, and we still teach and lead young people. I'm more likely, if my daughter makes a mistake, I'm more likely to give her a second chance and to at least encourage her to move on if she's not pouting and whining and complaining about whatever happens. You think about that. The last time you had to be told something, maybe by your teacher or maybe by your parents, or maybe, somebody told you to do something and you had a bad attitude about it, guess what happened? Nothing good. But especially if you're sorry about what happened and you know you can learn from it, then your attitude will continue to determine how well you will do in life. So don't have a bad attitude, have a good attitude about whatever happens. But think about that. So the first is the A. A is improve your attitude, and I want to challenge you to think about that time when you had an attitude adjustment, that it got you finally what you wanted or it lost what you needed. The second thing is the B. My dad said, if you want to be a better me, then you need to upgrade your belief and your belief system. Now, that's two things, right? So first is the belief. The belief is defined as a state or habit of mind in which trust is placed in something or someone. So if you believe something, it's your state of mind that you trust or that you have some trust put in something. The second definition of belief is a conviction of the truth about that something. So let me see if I can explain this. If you believe in something, then what you do is based upon what you believe about it. So for example, I believe that this chair that I'm sitting in was going to hold me up. So I didn't touch it. I didn't feel it. No matter if someone else came in here and said, ooh, I think that chair will break if you sit on it. Because I sat in it, it stayed up, then I believed it. I'm sixth generation preacher, so I can't help but bring a little bit into this. So I remember the Apostle Paul telling folk that he was persuaded that nothing should separate him from the love of Christ. That is exactly the kind of belief system you have to have. That no matter what you're going through, no matter what's going on around you, that you believe in yourself to get something done. Now, there's a challenge to that. You can have this belief that you need to upgrade. You believe in yourself. I think I can do it. I like the little engine that could in that book. I think I can. You can believe in yourself, but sometimes, folk, I'm just here to tell you, sometimes you don't believe in yourself. Sometimes you have all of these doubts that are swirling around in your head. I call them false truths. I call them just lies that sort of penetrate. Somebody telling you that you can't do something, that you won't be something, that you're too short, too small, not smart enough. you know, that you are won't ever, because of where you live and where you come from, you won't ever be something. You start to believe that kind of stuff. When that happens to you, you need to upgrade your belief system. That is, you need to surround yourself with people who believe in you. So this happened to me when I was growing up as a young person. My grandmother, I spent summers with my grandma. We went out into the country. I don't know if they all do that anymore or not, but we went to the country in the summer, and my grandmama would talk to me about things that I would never heard about. She would talk. We would go out and have walks in the woods and talk about how to, how she cooked stuff. How she make jelly in jars and all of that. Well, she told me some things that I really believe until this day. She just simply looked at me in the eyes and she said, "Cedrick, look, no matter what, you're going to be somebody important. You're going to be somebody special. You're going to be somebody someday." And guess what? I'm not the president of the United States. Surely not that important. But what she said rang true in my ears. You can look around right now. God has blessed me tremendously. And I believe it's because when I didn't believe in myself, when I wasn't sure what the next steps would be, when I wasn't sure what career I would be following, my grandmother said those words to me, and those words echoed to me. You need to surround yourself with some people who believe in you. So when the time of doubt comes, you'll have someone who can wrap their arms around you and tell you everything's going to be all right. So this is the second challenge. This is the B, the challenge for the B. Do you ask yourself if you really believe in yourself? Do you believe you can do what you want to do, what you can achieve, what you want to achieve? And if not, do you have someone who does? You know what? Sometimes it's not a parent. Sometimes it's a coach. Sometimes it's a teacher. Sometimes it's a friend in your classroom. Just find you someone that believes in you. And you find someone that doesn't believe in themselves, and you believe in them for them. All right, that's number 2. So that's A, and that's B. I'm going to give you a test in a minute. We're going to review before we close. All right, so the C is capitalize on your courage. Capitalize on your courage. So courage is defined as mental and moral strength. So it's one thing to be strong in the body. Right? If you're an athlete, you can do 100 push-ups. It's one thing to be strong in the body, right? You can lift things and move things, and you are, awesome in that regard. But the question is, are you strong up here? And when you are strong up here, then it connects to the belief system that we talked about a minute ago. But do you have courage, right? It's important to have courage because as you grow and mature, you may be strong enough to lift things, but you need to be strong enough to endure things. And what that means is you have to be strong enough to go through the trials and the troubles and tribulations and issues that are coming at you in your life. A short story right here. A very famous sports broadcaster in our community, his name is Jarvis Greer. Jarvis Greer works for WMC TV. Jarvis Greer reports the sports on WMC TV, Channel 5, every day. He's done it for 40 years. Recently, Jarvis went off the air, and I read in the paper that he was out because he got prostate cancer. And this is a condition of cancer that affects men. And so he said to himself, it was a scary condition when he found out about it. He didn't know what to do at first, but what made him make it through? He's back on the air now, thank God. What made him make it through was the courage he had, the moral and mental strength to stick to it. Because he had that courage, he's now back on the air. So if Jarvis Greer can persevere and endure and use his courage to push through prostate cancer, guess what you can do? You can have the same courage to make it through this school year, the same courage to grow up and be strong, the same courage to be somebody someday. Use your courage. Capitalize on the courage you have. Guess what? Courage is not necessarily not being afraid. Courage is being afraid and doing it anyway. So yeah, I'm afraid some days. Some days scare me to death. Some things I do are very fearful. If you look back at throughout my career as a teacher, as a principal, as a superintendent, as a director, we make decisions and have to do some things that are very, very scary. As a dad, I have to do some things that and go through some things that are that make me afraid. As a preacher, oh my goodness, you all know preachers and pastors. You know, we all have to endure some things that make us afraid, but the courage to do it is what makes you do it. So capitalize on your courage. You have a little bit. Sometimes it's the courage to eat that hot chip that you never tried before. That's courage. It's a courage of a different kind, but it's courage nonetheless. So use that kind of courage to, go ahead and tackle the tough tasks. Don't pass them over. Don't say no to them when you feel like inside you can actually do them. So that's courage. So that's three so far. Let's recap. We want you to improve your attitude. A, improve your attitude. B, upgrade your belief. C, capitalize on your courage. Now I'm going to add a D. Oh my gosh. I'm going to add a D. It is develop your development. This is so great. So when you're talking about being a better me, this is the one letter that has nothing to do with, has nothing to do with you, but more to do with the people you are around. You want to develop your development. Now, what that means is develop is to improve, to be better, right? Overall. So that's what you want to do. Once you have that, once you have developed yourself, once you've become the better me you want to be using A, B, and C, then develop other people around you. That's the D. Develop your development. And really what that means is you first have to be surrounded by folk that are good people, right? Surround yourself with good folk, right? But you be the one that makes them better. So this is, I love basketball, I love sports. And I was watching the Grizzlies game the other day. And the Grizzlies went into halftime and they were down by 6 points. But the Memphis Grizzlies have one star player that everybody knows. His name is Ja Morant. Matter of fact, my daughter went to school with with his sister at school. And so I almost have a connection to Ja Morant. So it makes me so excited about it. But you know what's special about Ja Morant? He's good. He can dribble the ball. He can pass the ball. As a matter of fact, he can dunk the ball. He's so spectacular in that. But you know what's really great about Ja Morant? He is developed and developing as a great basketball player, as a superstar. But the one thing his teammates will tell you about him is that they are better when he's on the court than when he is not. That's what you want people to say about you. That you are better that they are better because of you. So the challenge is, did I give you a challenge for C? Anyway, I'll go back and we'll recap and give all the challenges. The challenge for D is check and see if people are better because of you or if they are worse. I got you, didn't you? Didn't I? So you brighten a room either when you walk into it or when you leave it. That'll get you on your way home. You think about that for a little bit. But in your D, as you develop your development, make sure that you're the person that's helping to make other people better. You want to be a better me. Yes, I want to be a better me. I know, I hear you saying that now. I want to be a better me. And so first you have to improve your attitude. And your challenge is to think about a time when your attitude made things better or made it worse. Think about that. The second thing is to upgrade your belief system. And the challenge is to make sure that you surround yourself with people who believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. The third letter is courage. You're going to capitalize on your courage. And I want you to think about a time when quitting was an option, but you didn't. You used courage, right? Think about a time when quitting was an option. That's your challenge, but you didn't. And the fourth and final thing is to develop your development. Now, in the challenge and development is simply this. make sure that you are working to develop the people who are around you so that everybody's better because of you. Wow. I certainly hope that these few minutes have encouraged you. For those of you all who've done well so far this school year, keep at that thing. Keep pushing it. You can make it. You just got a few more weeks of school, a couple of months of school left, and you will be there. And for those of us who may not have done exactly what they want to do, you still have time. You have time to be a better me. And I'm counting on you to do that. All right, so hopefully one day we'll all see one another in person. Until then, I want you to know that I am here to support you. I need you to be successful so that we can be successful. I want you to also know that God loves you, and so do I. All right, it's been a pleasure speaking with you all. Have a great rest of the school year.